Hey, what's up, guys? Gonna get some things situated while we wait for the notifications to go out. Hopefully, they do. I've actually been getting them the last couple weeks, so we'll kind of see. I did notice that it did take about 10 minutes or so before the majority of people joined. But hey, welcome to the weekly live stream Q&A. This is held every Friday at 8 p.m. Or, well, shit, Thursday. I got my days jacked up already. It used to be Friday. It's every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we try to go for like 30 minutes to an hour, depending on kind of how the questions go. The more questions come in, the longer we go. I try not to push it past an hour and a half, because who's really holding on at that point. But hey, what's up, guys? Cue Ball Reef, what's up, man? Peter, what's going on? Peter, I got your email. I'll get back to you soon on the whole shipping stuff. What's up, Shane? So one thing I'm going to do this week, just algorithm wise, as you guys have noticed on the channel over the past week, we're trying to do some things to improve the algorithm for YouTube. And so if we get 100 likes during the stream on this live stream, I will make a 50% off code for 24 hours. So it's only if we get 100 likes, and I won't be mad if we don't. You guys killed me last time I did this. But I mean, I'm not mad. Definitely not. What's up, Bill? Sky High Reef. Carlos, what's up, guys? So if you guys have any questions that are Darren, what's up, man? Reef related, non-reef related, whatever, you can ask them. And then we'll just kind of go from there and see where the rabbit hole goes. But other than that, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the videos this week. And no, I'm not on camera during the live stream. As I mentioned to the person who asked, I didn't get a lot of time to get my hair done. I just got out of the shower. And to be honest with you guys, I'm completely exhausted. I'm doing 2 days right now, training wise. And then BJJ's picking up, and cutting some weight. Just got a lot of stuff going on, so I'm just physically exhausted. I stopped drinking coffee as well. Trying to get a little bit of detox. I don't think it's been probably a year or two since I've skipped a day, and I'm on day 3 right now, so it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. So, yeah. Other than that, yeah, hopefully everybody's doing well. Let me make sure the others chat is up again. Yeah, guys, if we get 100 likes on this, you can see the bottom of the scrolling there. We'll do a 50% off code. So, did you give any thought on the multi-tool holder that I asked about? Yeah, I mean, I added it to the list, cue ball. I get suggestions like that all the time, but and then they just go up onto a list of things that I will create when I have an opportunity. 9 out of 10 times, the only time something like that will be created immediately is if somebody puts in a custom order. Just because I hate to say this, I don't really have too much free time to be just pulling things off out of midair to make them. Usually, right now our custom orders are 3 to 5 weeks backed up. That's insane. So there's a good chance that I will be pulling custom orders from the website probably next month, just because I need time to catch up. Trust me, guys, I appreciate the custom orders, I really do, but 3 to 5 weeks is crazy for somebody to wait, 5 weeks for an item. That's just, and I don't know how to make it happen any faster. I just don't. So, yeah, I don't really know. It's something that I've been debating taking off the website just temporarily, again, for me to catch up. It's just, it's a lot of work. So, let's see what we got here. Notifications working. Good job. Good deal. Let me get over to the chat. Damn, Thursday already. Yeah, right. Yeah, I thought it was Friday. So, liking the new daily content or content daily videos. Cool. Appreciate you guys liking those. Yeah, they're pretty easy to make. Like I said, they're 5-10 minutes out of my day. Thumbnails are a little interesting, but yeah, it's not too bad. Got to get that 8 to 10% body fat. Yeah, there's no chance I'm getting down there. Maybe like 11 or 12 or something. But whenever I get below 10%, I used to do this back in the day. Whenever I get below 10%, I feel like I don't have the energy. And with BJJ, I'm going to need the stamina and the energy to survive that crap. So 10% or sub 10% is probably not going to be beneficial for me. At this point, it's kind of weird. Like back in the day, I was always about bodybuilding to look good and all this stuff. Right now, maybe it's just with age. I just want the functional strength. I want to be able to go in and put a good round in, good rolls in, and be able to survive and outmaneuver and power people. At this point, I'm doing basically compound movements all the way around. deadlifts, all that stuff, squats, everything. I don't really do too many isolation exercises, just kind of, functional strength. That sounds kind of weird, but hey, I'm getting old. It is what it is, right? Hell no to the coffee. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get off the stuff. I feel like right now I'm drinking 3 cups a day of coffee, and it's basically I do it in the morning. I go to the gym. I'll come back and work for a little while. I'll start feeling tired, so I'll drink another cup, keep working, and then I will start getting tired, go drop off packages, drink another cup, go and train, and then come back and, and go to sleep. And it didn't feel like a very healthy way to live. That roller coaster consistently. And yeah, so I'm taking some time off again. This is day 3, and I was feeling it today for sure. So the Q&A series are really good. Appreciate it, DC Reefer. I'm glad you guys like it. Yep. If we hit 100 likes, I don't even know what we're at right now, but if we hit 100 likes, let me see if I can even pull up the stream. Can I do that without hearing myself? Yeah, so we're a quarter of the way there. If we get 100 likes during this live stream, I will do a 50% off code for 24 hours. You guys seem to like that stuff. What's up, Discus Addict? I miss my Discus for sure. You don't need to cut the coffee as it's a diuretic. Yeah, I just don't like it. I don't like the way it makes me feel. What is your website new here? What is my website? I'll put in the comment section. Fishofhex.com. Yep. 3D printing, all sorts of stuff on there. Coral, I mean, you name it. There's a bunch of stuff. My frag rack I ordered came in great. Thank you. Was it one of the new ones or the hanging ones? I shipped out a bunch of new ones, so maybe it was one of those. I have no idea what you said. Somebody translate. Hey, where's Carlos at? Gabe, you're Mexican, right? Hispanic? Translate that shit. Let me know. So he knows I'm busting his balls. What all do you sell? Equipment, live, species, products, salt, etc. Well, I don't. Only thing live that I sell is coral. I used to do inverts, but the price of inverts is crazy. Even getting them wholesale is just ridiculous. So coral's the only live thing that I sell. But salt, I'm still working on that with Fritz. I'm waiting for them to get back to me so I can drop ship salt, or at least get the pallet in and then ship salt out. The shipping on that is pretty ridiculous, so I got to see kind of what my profit margin is going to be. But hey, if I can make like $20 a box, I won't be upset about that. We got another missed call. Get that out of there. So, the notification just came in. That's cool. So, yeah. So, I mean, I do a lot of 3D printing right now. It's like 190 something like that items that I've created over the last year of 3D printing. And yeah, that means hello. But yeah, so I mean, there's quite a bit of stuff on there. There's candles on there too. I make that stuff, hustling here. Right? It's pumpkin spice latte season. Pumpkin, yeah, I love pumpkin spice. Well, I wouldn't say I love it. I like it. It's different places, different feels. All right, let me get down here. No problem. He said he knew the translation. Whew. Thanks, Gabe. Appreciate that. I was just joking. Gabe's coming through, man. I really appreciate that. I'm just busting you. And when are you going to send me the stuff for your custom order? I mean, it's just sitting here staring at me. I got to look at your name every single day. You have any experience with calcium carbonate in the Aquaforest life source? I do not. I have not used either one of those. I can pretend I did, but I don't. So I don't want to give you any advice on that. Sorry. It means hello. Oh yeah, she's married to one. Never mind. Well, I don't know. I don't know, man. You gotta give me a break. Okay. I will admit I took 2 years of Spanish in middle school, but it was only for the girls. So I didn't learn. I learned hola. That's about it. And some swear words, but other than that, I wonder if I could demonetize for that. Probably. Anyways, your bubble algae thing works good. Might use that to get all the spidering sponge they got into my display. It spreads like wildfire. I've never had that before. Let me look that up. I know I've heard of it. Let me look it up before. I just want to get an idea in my head what it is. The only thing I am guilty of is soldering. Jeez. Saltwater is the pineapple sponges. Oh, okay. I see. Okay. Huh. Wonder how you got that. Did you have live rock? Is that how you got that in? You don't see that too often. At least not for cured stuff. We enjoy your new daily uploads. You should start showing your ugly mug years ago. I don't know about that. I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you guys, I'm not a fan of being in front of the camera only because um, I don't know. I'm pretty self conscious about things. I see many flaws, and I just don't like putting myself out there. That's really the only reason why I haven't. At this point in my life, I'm just kind of like, well, might as well do it. What do I got to lose, right? And there's only been positive feedback. I mean, there's a few people here and there. There's a few dislikes here and there, but again, you can't just like a coral in your tank. You can't make everybody happy, right? So, yeah, I mean, the feedback's good. I'm going to continue to do it. If people like that stuff, I'm going to keep on doing it. If YouTube likes it and it promotes the channel, then of course I'm going to keep doing it because it's a cycle. So if I create content on here on YouTube, it drives people to the website, sales, which then in turn allows me to pay my bills, and then allows me to keep making content over and over and over again. So it's a good cycle, and I just got to keep going, right? So, but I'm glad you guys like it. Whatever happened to Scott Roscoe's Reef? I don't know what happened to him, man. MIA. Life, I suppose. Rogues Aquarium says, I've got to look over your website again. I've ordered quite a bit of your 3D printed products so far, and I use all of them. Hey, appreciate it, Darren. Yeah, I mean, I add new stuff all the time. Like somebody requested a 20 sorry, I'm clearing my throat. 20 vial holder for Hannah yesterday, and I just made that real quick, put it on the website. So I mean, if stuff like that could be made pretty quickly, I try to get it up there. But yeah, appreciate it. Now, one thing I do want to mention, there are a couple skimmers on the website, and I did put it in the note section or the description of those skimmers, the attachments. I've noticed with a couple brands that Niles is one of them, and there's one model of Reef Octopus where actually it doesn't fit. Basically, their lids were made differently, so maybe it was an older model, or maybe it's a newer model. But either way, whoever sent in the original lid to make that, it didn't necessarily fit the first version of that. So there's a couple different models that I'm working on, but I am adjusting them. So if it's not in the notes, then you should be pretty safe. Let's see here. Hey, just moved to PA, Mount Pocono. Jesus, I read that wrong. Mount Pocono. He said I used to have a dog up there area. And look, any local fish stores you recommend? The closest one is about an hour away. The only fish store that I would recommend in PA that I know of is that fish place in Lancaster, and that's probably the one you're talking about. I'm trying to think where Mount Pocono is. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's up towards Scranton. I'm almost positive. Might be wrong. But welcome to PA. All 12 seasons in one day. Stay with me. If NO3 and PO4 are taken up by algae, how can you get an accurate reading with Hannah or other test kits? My PO4 is currently reading 0.01, but my algae scrubber is thriving in Chaeto. Okay, so that's the thing is if you're over, I've noticed this with the scrubbers as well. So if you're using Chaeto and a scrubber, I mean, that's quite a bit. Now, you're right. If it is using it up, you're probably not getting an accurate reading. But when I say that, I'm more or less talking about nuisance algae in a main display tank, because most people who have no algae in their tank but have a scrubber or Chaeto growing just fine, is usually not a problem. So for those of you who have algae actively in your display tank and you are trying to test your nitrates and phosphates, there's a good chance your reading is not going to be correct given that the algae is using up a lot. Man, my throat. Let me clear that shit real quick. It is, I don't know, dry shit in here today. But so when it comes to that version right there, so if you have a scrubber and Chaeto going and they're both growing just fine and your nutrients are still low, you might want to consider taking one of them offline or dialing back the lighting on both just so you can increase your nutrients if you so choose. It's up to you. So if your nutrients are good where you want them to be, or wherever they are, given how they fluctuate, then it's fine. But if you find that you're pulling out too much, then you need to dial back the lighting or feed more or dose or whatever you want to do to balance it out. But it is possible for a scrubber to come in and pull out everything from the water column. I mean, it is an algae. It's just not in the display tank. So yeah. I don't know how to answer the question exactly to the way you want it. But I guess the point is, if you are growing, on an algae scrubber or in the Chaeto refugium, and your nutrients are 0, then you need to dial back that, definitely. And if there's no algae in the tank anywhere, of course, you might want to dial back the lighting. That's something I've had to do on the frag imported system when I used to have the algae scrubber. I dial back the lighting just because of that reason there. It was just stripping the tank. So let's see here. Yeah, you said it's out of control. So yeah, I mean, if you're growing too much, then consider turning the lights back. You sound like basic white chick saying you love pumpkin spice. Might as well. Basic white chicks. I mean, dime a dozen. Is that forest fire digi in the middle of the reef? Yeah, it is forest fire. Yep, sure is. And it is out of stock. It's one of the very very popular corals on the website. If he said hola, you would have known. Exactly. I would have known what he said. Let's see here. Well, when I put in that right there, that sponge, it came up with sponges. Let me do it again. Yep, it came up with a whole bunch of. I put in spidering sponges, saltwater, and it came up with a whole bunch of them. And then you can click sponges, coral reef, fish tank, aquarium. You can go through the list of it. So that's why I said it didn't look like something I've seen. So what's the actual name of it? Let me know. I'll Google it so I can see exactly what you're talking about. All right. Reef Chill says, in all seriousness, I enjoy those a lot. Just saying to give you a hard time. Hey, it's no problem, man. I can take a joke. Sure can. You think an enemy on top of Zoa colony could mess up the tank chemistry, chemical warfare, and all that jazz? I mean, they are going to kind of go back and forth, but what I've seen, any anemones that they get on Zoas, they usually just kind of clear a path for themselves. They actually don't kill off the Zoas unless they stay there for a long period of time. But no, I don't think you're going to have any issues with that. I mean, I would say if you have a 10-gallon tank with a mostly Zoas and a bunch of anemones and they're going at it, then yeah, the water volume is not really big enough to take care of it. I would say if they were to start kind of going back and forth. But I mean, if your tank is relatively decent size, I don't think there's going to be any issues. You can throw some carbon in there if you're worried about it. But yeah, worst case scenario, the anemone will kind of make its own little path through there, and the Zoas just won't grow. They'll die off eventually. I would say they would, anyways. Getting stung consistently with no light. My pH is getting up to 8.5 peak, 8.2 low. Should I be concerned? No. I mean, what's your alkalinity at, Gabe? And is it accurate? I mean, I wouldn't worry about it. And also double check your probes, whatever you're testing your pH with. Maybe your probes need to be recalibrated. That's pretty common. Yeah. So either alkalinity is really high or your pH probes probably need to be calibrated. So 8.5, I mean, I've never seen it. Even at like 10 alkalinity and doing everything I can to get the CO2 out of the tank, I don't think I've ever seen 8.5. I'd be lucky if I see 8.1 these days. Let's see here. I have no clue. Everything I put in the tank wasn't live. The only thing I put in the sump was some Chaeto, but it died right away, and this sponge started growing everywhere. You don't know. Oh, so you don't know what the actual name of it. Hey, well, send me a picture of it if you can. Fishofhex@gmail.com, and I will. If I know it off the top of my head, I'll tell you. If not, I can probably guide you in the right direction. But it wouldn't hurt if you go up on Reef to Reef to put a picture up and be like, "Hey, anybody know what this is?" Yeah, I don't know. Send me a picture. Sponge only, no dick pics or anything like that. I know how you guys are. Anyways, have you ever used Phosphate RX? I have not. Just recently used it, and it's like fucking snowing in my tank. Super annoyed. I have never used it. I'm guessing it is to lower phosphates. Let me look. Let me just double check. It sounds like it is. Kind of like the other stuff. Phosphate RX. Let me just look. Remover. Yeah, it says remover. Huh. Shit's not cheap either. It's Amazon got it here for. Phosphate RX, a liquid solution to quick, effectively works freshwater and saltwater aquariums. Amazingly simple to easy to use freshwater. Binds the phosphate molecules and then filters them out. That sounds extremely dangerous. Like I would not put that in my tank. Because does it bind to all of the molecules? I mean, are you going to go from having, I don't know, let's just pick a random high number of phosphates, whatever you so choose, and then go to zero instantly? Is that how that works? I'm assuming that the snowing look in your tank is actually binding to it and being filtered out, just like it says in the description. I would not use that stuff. I think, well, one, I think that it isn't necessarily fixing the problem. I think it's a temporary solution, like a band-aid. I think it's probably worse than that. But I would focus more on trying to find the source of the phosphates than trying to remove them with a chemical, especially something that says that it binds to them. That concerns me because if it binds to, if you put enough in there and it binds to all of the phosphate and you go to zero, then you're going to have bigger problems, such as dino, or you're going to, flatline all your coral because they're not going to be nutrients the uptake. Plus, what about the balance of nitrates? I mean, how are you going to do that? Um, if you're pulling out so much, there has to be a balance between nitrates and phosphates. And if you're pulling out all your phosphates, again, you're going to run into issues, especially with coloration of your coral. So that stuff sounds pretty dangerous. I wouldn't use that. I definitely wouldn't. I mean, I can look up some reviews, but it doesn't sound like it's something I would ever. Let's just say you don't have enough money for me to put that in my tank. I would never do it. That sounds like a horrible idea. All right, let's see. It doesn't fit. That's just... All right, Peter, calm down. Speaking of Peters, there you go. That fits perfectly. There we go. How often would you recommend calibrating your pH probes? I do it every 6 months. If I don't forget, if I forget, I do it every couple years. But every 6 months is probably a good roundabout time. Just like taking your pumps out and cleaning them, your return pumps and stuff, every 6 months to a year. It's just good to do that stuff. And that reminds me, I have to recalibrate my calcium reactor. David, so I just went on your site and it seems some saltwater melts. What is that do for saltwater aquarium, and is it good for live species? Okay, so the saltwater melts, that's like candle stuff, man. I like wax, like stuff that it's like a scent. It's I put that on there because a lot of you guys, okay, my demographic is like 99% 99% dudes, right? So I figured, hey man, I'll take up a hobby of making candles and wax melts because I like my house to smell good, Again, I got dogs farting all the time, kids, busting ass. Well, I like my house to smell good, so I'll learn how to make candles and all that kind of stuff. So I did, and I put it on the website because a lot of you guys buy coral and 3D printing, and they're like, this would be a great opportunity to get a gift for my significant other, and you guys usually buy that stuff alongside of it. So that's why I put it on there. Makes me a little bit of money and helps you guys out. So yeah, you definitely don't want to put it in your tank. It's not good for anything saltwater. It's good for the melts. You put them in a heating plate, and when they melt, they release the scent and it makes your house smell better than I guess what it does now. So there you go, man. So that's a grown ass man with baldness and tattoos. Just imagine that, guy. So you guys see what I look like on the video. So you imagine me up here in my room making candles just like that. That's interesting. So anyways, Steven says, hey, how often do you calibrate your Trident? Also, do you 3D print the reagent tube line guides? I do. I've seen some online in message boards. Yes, I have the line guides on my website, and I calibrate it every single time I put in a new box of reagent. So I calibrate it every month just because it comes with a calibration solution, and why not? It takes 45 minutes. It actually takes 2 minutes for me to set it up. And hey, Caleb, welcome as a member. Guys, if you become a member for $1 a month, you get cool little emojis. I'm going to put them out there for you. So you get cool little emojis. And then, like I said, you support the channel. It's $1 a month. You don't have to, but you can if you want. Appreciate it, Caleb. But yeah, so I do sell all that stuff on the website. Just go underneath 3D printing. You'll see Trident. What's up, Travis from Brothers of Saltwater Inc. Love the Alk video. Hey, no problem. Appreciate it. Do my Space Invader chalice bounced? I'll send you a DM. All right, yeah, send it to me. It sounds expensive. Space Invader. Let me just look that up. I mean, anything with that kind of name. But then again, these days, I mean, they're making the names out of everything. Let me just look that up. Space Invader. I don't want to see that. Chalice. Let me just see. Oh, wow. Yeah. That sucks, man. I'm sorry. How much is that going for? Oh, it's not that much, man. It's like $50. Okay. Okay. I was thinking like big money. Big money. I see how much you spend on that bike of yours, and all your your mud runs or running and all biking, all that kind of stuff you do. But yeah, it's not horrible, I guess. What's the email address? I'll send you a picture of the sponge. Algae can't identify. Okay, let me get that to you. At gmail.com. Here you go, Peter. You're taking advantage of those, those emojis. The dollar was worth the dick emoji. Oh, that's funny. Appreciate it, guys. And then you become, your name goes on the scrolling credits for the video there. So let me check. Let me refresh this and see where we're at when it comes to. There we go. All right, cool. I sent you the email. It just popped up. Can you answer my question at 5:08? I think you skipped the accident. Let me go up. I'm going up, man. Give me a second. Oh no, I answered that. I said I didn't have any experience with those, so I didn't have an answer for you. I don't like giving answers on stuff that I don't know because it just makes me look like a tool. And there's plenty of other people in this community who are pretty good at that. So, yeah, I just don't. I haven't used that stuff before, so I can't give you an answer. Though I lost my spot. Okay, can anemones travel across sand? Yes, I've seen it. Not high flow, but if if there's not that much flow, then they can for sure. I really want to try one in my new mixed reef on its own isolated island, but I don't want the risk of it killing my SPS. Okay, so what's going to happen is you'll put it on your isolated island. If it doesn't like being there, it will just detach and float around the tank until it, basically attaches to something that it likes. And then hopefully, during that process, if it doesn't like its spot, it doesn't find its way to your power heads and get shredded. Seen that a couple times as well. But yeah, I mean, you could try it out. Get a small one, put them on its own rock. But I mean, they can go anywhere they want to go. And when they find a place, it's usually next to your prized colony. Hence the reason why I don't have any in my tank. 9.5 elk. Okay, I calibrated it too. So 9.5 is fine. I mean, I'd have to look at the chart to see if it's even possible to get to 8.5 with it based off a 9.5 elk. I would say if you're closer to 11 or 12 DKH, then yeah, it'd be more than reasonable to be at 8.5. But I have to look. I used to have a chart back in the day that I could line them up and see kind of what the average elk would be if all the CO2 was removed from the tank. I still have a feeling that Gabe, maybe consider multiple test kits, not only for the pH, but also for your alkalinity, because maybe your alk is off. Maybe it's 8.5. I don't know, or maybe it's 10.5 or 11.5. Either way, I would consider maybe another test kit to double check. It just doesn't seem right. 8.5 seems really high for 9.5 elk, even with all the CO2 gone. It just seems kind of high. All right, you said you calibrated it too. You calibrated trying to whenever you place the 3 agents. Yeah, just like he said, I like to calibrate it every time I replace. It just takes 5 minutes, and then the system does it on its own. Just remember to remove it before it starts testing again. Becky's like, get off the live chat. I will after. Okay. It's normal. Yep. Let's see what he says here. It binds to the phosphate and turns it into. Okay, and skimmer will pull it out. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, have you used that before, Andrea? It just seems like man, doesn't seem very good. Coming from somebody who can barely get his phosphates where they should be. Can you put in 10 micro? Okay, filter sock. Let's see here. What's your thoughts on custom 3D printed filter roller for an all-in-one tank? I have an idea for one, but trying to find filter rolls that would be small enough to fit the design. Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome. I mean, it wouldn't be difficult to make one. I mean, I don't think it would be. Finding the rolls might be a little bit. You might even consider buying a regular roll and just cutting it with a bandsaw or something to get it to the size you want. That might save you some money. And then, yeah, I mean, that'd be pretty cool for the middle chamber of a BioCube 29. That'd be pretty cool to have the roller right there. Um, yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible. Malev's Reef recommended it. I'm going to throw it in the trash. I mean, if he recommended it, I mean, he's no dummy. So I mean, he obviously he's either used it before or he knows that somebody had good results with it. So I mean, Malev doesn't recommend stuff that doesn't work. So listen, I've never used it before. What worries me is the concept of binding to the phosphates and then pulling them out immediately. That concerns me just for fluctuation purposes, and being at zero phosphates isn't good. So, but again, if Malev is recommending it, then he either used it himself and there was no issues, or he knows somebody who used it and was successful. So, I mean, that's got to count for something. So that's my thoughts on that. And again, I've never used it. So, yeah, what's up, man? Andrea, you used it before. Travis just scared the shit out of me. I'm sorry. Did she reply to that? I haven't used it for myself, but I'm very familiar with the Blue Life USA products. It's safe, dose directed. Don't go balls to the wall. Okay, cool. So there you go. There's your answer. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to scare you. I just don't. I don't know that kind of stuff, man. It doesn't seem. Becky, are you there? There we go. Appreciate that. Dogs farting and kids busting ass. Yes, that is my life. We had a 30-minute pillow fight today, and my arm is sore. I'm gonna tell you right now. And then the best part about that is we all fell asleep on the floor. It was a nice, good hour and a half nap. Really enjoyed that midday. That's the dad life right there, man. It was nice. I mean, there's nothing better than just falling asleep on the floor middle of the day and waking up going, damn, I still got a lot of shit to get done. But hey, Caleb, thanks for becoming a member. I think I already said that. What's the email address? I think I did that too. Am I reading the same stuff again? I feel like I've answered that question. I gave you the email address, right, bud? And I'm pretty sure I read this one too. Man, what the hell's going on? Okay, that's a bunch of dick emojis. Awesome, bro. I've got a family too. Thanks. We like our house to smell good too. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. She answered the question there. Peter, member. Had to go on the damn computer to sign up. They don't let you do it on the phone. That's weird. Have you ever used products like Dr. Tim's Waste Away as a proactive to keep the tank cleaner? Okay, so I've never used the Waste Away, but I use their Eco Balance, and it's pretty good. You just have to be careful. As with anything, try not to overdose it. If you can, just underdose it. Probably be the best. But yeah, I mean, I've never used the Waste Away. I've heard good things about it. I've known people who used it. I had a buddy that used it. What was his name? Was it Mike? I think it was Mike. He was up north. Mike something, I don't remember. But he had a little 75-gallon tank. He used it there, and it seemed to do a pretty good job. But I've never used it myself personally. The reviews are pretty decent. And the only thing from Dr. Tim's is the Eco Balance, which again is pretty good, but you don't want to overdose that. Let's see here. The dollar was worth the okay. I feel like I'm reading this stuff again. That leads me to my next question. My 265-gallon frag tank pH is usually 8.1, and it's close to my bay door. I think I've seen that one before in the garage, but at night it drops to 7.78, 7.9, whereas my 600 approximately 12 feet away. Inside, I guess there's more to this. The garage and the pH usually stays between 8.3. Why the difference between the two tanks? Well, I mean, they're in the same room, same garage, different systems. The only thing I can think of is what kind of, you have massive skimmers on the 600, right? I'm almost positive of the bigger skimmers on there. Also, I don't know what your two different dosing methods are if you're using the same thing. I do know if you have calcium reactor on one and 2-part on the other, then yeah, there's going to be a difference in that because the pH of the calcium reactor is going to drop it at night. Also, other things in consideration is your refugium. Those are all things that you want to think about when it comes to elevating the pH at night. Is your refugium going? What you got growing in there? Are you dosing calc at night? Are you got a calcium reactor? Where is it being dumped into? All those things are going to impact the pH. But I don't know. I don't remember exactly what you have between the two systems. But I will say is if you got a massive skimmer in one and a teeny skimmer in another, just that alone will increase the pH. If you have a refugium that's rocking in one and not in the other, again, same reason. And then also the third part is if you're using a calcium reactor in one and not in the other. I mean, those things can make a difference as well. So um, I can't really give you an answer based on without seeing the system right now. Doo-doo-doo. I use my Hannah to check pH and elk too. So you are doubling. Yeah, Gabe, man. I don't know then. I wish I had that chart. I mean, it's probably on my Google Drive somewhere, but like I said, 8.5 seems a little high, but if your tank is doing fine and we've seen videos of it, it seems to be growing without any issues. So if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So I wouldn't worry too much. Hey Travis, I'm thinking I'm winning the war on with dinos. Still have some green hair algae though. Phosphates is stayed close to zero. Nitrates are around 10. Thoughts on beating this algae? Thanks, Kevin. Okay, so if you have green hair algae and you still have dinos, then I would focus on manual removal. And then also if the algae is really small, then get hermit crabs or something that can chomp on it relatively quickly. Turtle snails aren't going to be there. Astrias might be able to chomp on that a little bit. But if you have just a little bit of green hair algae, then cleanup crew is a good way to go, or manual removal, or even both. So what I mean by manual removal is get in there with like a toothbrush. Um, when you do your water changes and scrub that stuff off, or even go in there every day and just break it off the rock structure. And, if you have tangs, hopefully, I mean, maybe you have tangs, they're in there chomping out of it. I don't really know how much hair algae you have though. But since your phosphates are at zero, uh, and I mean, I would assuming your nitrates would be lower too, given you have algae growing. But yeah, so I would focus on getting your phosphates above zero. They don't have to be stupid high, but you want to manually remove as much of that algae as you possibly can. And then, you know, I don't want to say dose phosphates because again, I have to see the tank to be able to tell you how much algae. So I guess what I mean is if you have 2-inch hair algae growing in sections of your tank, yeah, you don't want to be dosing anything. But if you have just some fuzziness here and there and it's still hair algae, but it's just a fuzziness, it's nothing crazy, then you might want to consider dosing some phosphates just to get them above zero to help rid the dino. But then again, I have to see the tank to determine what direction you need to go. Um, Maybe just by me saying that you can make that decision yourself. But yeah, I mean, you have to be off zero. You can't be at zero nitrates or phosphates if you want to get rid of dino. I mean, you gotta be above it. It's one way or shape or form. Um, and yeah, so I hope that answers the question. It's difficult without seeing the tank. Let's see, we're at 40 minutes in already. Damn. Let me see how many likes we got. So we got 50 likes or 49 likes. So if we go to, like I said, if we get 51 more likes in the next 20 minutes, I will give you that 50% off code for 24 hours. But we'll see. We'll see what you guys do. All right. I've used the Phosphate RX, worked great. The recommended dose is very small to ensure that it only takes the phosphates down by 0.05 per 24 hours. I used it because Milev's recommended it. Cool. So there you go. Somebody else used it without any issues. So yeah, if you're following the directions and doing what you're supposed to with it, then it should be fine, right? Oh man, I got the notification saying my connection is unstable. So let me know if you guys can't hear me. But yeah, again, like I said, the concept scared me when you're dumping something in to just remove it like that. But again, if you're gonna go slow and go from there, then yeah, there you go. Like I said, if he's recommending it, he's no dummy, so he's obviously has experience or somebody else used it. So I've used Phosphate RX for years. Great product. Just go slow. There you go. Good job. Glad we can have some people come in here to calm him down a little bit. I didn't mean to scare you, man. I just that kind of stuff. It makes me nervous. It just does. I mean, the concept makes me nervous. Just because I know what happens when you get down there. Malevs uses RX, Phosphate RX all the time. It's his recommendation for PO4 removal. I wish I could. Just keep my phosphates above zero. I mean, I'm not asking for a lot, but what's up, Becky? Welcome to the show. It's a solid product you can dose according to how much you want and lower phosphates. Cool. There you go. I never have that problem. Maybe someday. Good evening. What's up? What's up, dude? Is that beta fish? It is a beta. On vacation, watching from Arizona. What are you doing in Arizona? Oh yeah, I got a brother named Brandon. I don't know if you guys knew this or not. Fuck, every time, man. He called me today too. He went salmon fishing. So, let's see here. Will my doobie smoked effect? What the heck? Air exchange in my tank since it's the room I smoke in. Oh, I was like, what? I just talking about smoking weed in your tank. Um, I don't. It might. I guess. I don't know if can the smoke get it? Can it go into the fish tank and mess up the fish? I don't. I doubt that at all. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't do that stuff. So, Travis, are you still going to cuck my tank? Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna do the roast my tanks. I didn't get to do it this past weekend. I've been swamped, and then this weekend I have a ton of QuickBooks to do. A ton. My CPA call me today. He calls me when he calls and he's disappointed. It hurts me. Hey, Travis. So why aren't you doing what you're supposed to do? Well, life. That's all I got to say. So I have a whole bunch of tax stuff I got to get done, and I got a whole bunch of QuickBooks. I mean, thousands and thousands of manually entered transactions that I have been avoiding. Sucks. Just thinking about it. Oh man, there goes my whole weekend. But yeah, so I'm gonna be doing that. So I don't know if I'll have time to make make a video, make the roast my reef video, but I will try tomorrow morning. I'm gonna attempt to get out. I need to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday videos. So I'm gonna try to do 3 videos, make them, and then schedule them for this weekend. Um, Hopefully I can get that done. That's my goal tomorrow. Haha, Gabe. Sometimes I need to feel the fear. You'll be surprised what fear does. It's a great motivational tool. Sure is. Travis, my nitrates have been around 15 ppm and my phosphates hover around 0.05. Could I hook up a bulk resupply bio pellet reactor to reduce my nitrates? Sure. Why not? Uh, as with, I don't know if you've seen my videos on that stuff before, but bio pellets, you must go slow. Just go slow. Do you have the recommended dose? Give it some time. I'm telling you, my old 125, I mean, that's one of the downsides of building a system that's efficient is that you have issues, the opposite issue where you're bottoming your crap out all the time. But I miss having the bio pellet reactor. I miss having all the dosing pumps doing all the stuff with the reef colors. And I miss that whole setup, just the way it was. It was so DIY and complex to a certain extent. I just missed that setup. And then I don't know if you guys remember when I was dosing food from a refrigerator into my tank. That was fun too. Like I drilled holes through a mini fridge and was dosing food into the tank. That was and phytoplankton. I miss doing that stuff. Um, Unfortunately, now that it's a business, um, I would need a separate system that I can play around and do stuff like that with. But now that my system's all one, I can't do anything fun, if that makes any sense, because I can't jeopardize all my inventory. I just can't. I mean, I can't do it. So, I guess we'll figure that out down the road when we move. Right? It's an awesome name. Yeah, it's an all right name. I wouldn't say it's awesome, but it's all right. It's good. I mean, Travis isn't any better. Uh, it's not too much of a difference between both tanks, but I was just wondering. Thanks. Hey, no problem, Darren. All right, good. I'm glad you feel better. What the heck? My pH is direct result of blowing weed smoke into my skin. All right. Oh, let's see here. We are at 58 likes. Getting there. Getting there. Almost. And we got 15 minutes left once we run out of questions, which we just did. We ran out of questions. If you guys have any more, feel free to ask them. If not, we might have to end this stream early. We might have to end it. And let me see here. Let me go over to my website real quick, and I'll probably do a code for you anyways because you guys did a good sport and we're ending the stream early. So let me just give me a second, get in here and get this code. Shit. Create Create code. Create discount code. What number are we at? We have 68. What are we at? 68. Live 68. It's going to be a percentage of 50. It's only for 24 hours. Let me I gotta do specific collections. 24 hours. We're not going any farther. You guys trying to trick me last time. All right, so we're gonna go 24 hours. Done. And everybody can use it. And I just have to set the collections, which I will do after we end the stream. So the promo code is going to be live 68 for 50% off. And that is only for 24 hours. And I appreciate you guys for at least getting more likes than I usually do, because I usually don't get this much and it's helpful. So that's going to be there. Appreciate the super chat, and I will update that code when we get out of the stream. So it will be active like 5 minutes after the stream ends. Let's see what we got here. Travis, have you ever tracked growth rate SPS frags? If so, care to share? I've never tracked the growth. It's something that I've wanted to do, but I just never pursued it. I guess I've just kind of enjoyed the way the tank grew, and since I make videos of all my tanks, I kind of just get to look back and see how they've grown. But I've never really dove down and actually track the growth of it. It'd be interested to do that. Oh yeah, she's 39 today. Damn, she's getting up there. She's getting up there. Happy birthday! But we're gonna go 50% because why not, right? You get a chance to look at my email. Let me look here, man. Give me a second. Let me get in here. 1 second, dude. All right. The sponge rock is under the rock, the algae on top. Did you send a picture? I don't see any picture, unless it didn't load. I think you just sent me an email, but I didn't see a picture with it, so I'll give you a chance to fix that. And hey, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate that. Definitely do. Really do. Cycling question. Is it abnormal to be 5 weeks into a cycle and still be at 1 nitrate? I think you need to add some more ammonia or another food source. 5 weeks in, only that? Yeah, that doesn't seam right. What are you using method wise to cycle? If you could feel free to put that in the comments, it'll pop up pretty quick. Yeah, I mean, are you dosing ammonia? Are you putting a piece of shrimp in there? I mean, what are you doing to start the cycling process? Because if you're at 1 nitrites, you definitely don't have enough going on there to complete the cycle. So yeah, that's not normal. Not 5 weeks in. No. Okay, full spectrum versus blue spectrum for coral. The blue spectrum is the ideal spectrum for corals. A lot of people talked about this, and I've seen some videos on it as well. If you start diving, I think Jason Fox mentioned it actually. So when you dive down into the ocean, and I've never been in the ocean, so I can't tell you this. It's just what I've heard. When you get down far enough, the water filters out all the rays except for one, and it's the blue, right? So, and that's what the corals are primarily getting, is the blue spectrum. So I think the blue spectrum is, I would do that over full spectrum any day, because I run heavy blues on all my systems, and not only does it look good, but it grows fine. Good coloration. So yeah, blue spectrum for sure. It was Monday. I know. I talked to you on Monday. I know it was your birthday on Monday. Jesus, you act like I don't care about you or something. Best way to remove an anemone from live rock: just throw the whole rock out. I'm just playing, man. Get in there with your finger, and if you massage the foot, if you can, it will release. It's your best bet. Just get in there and kind of rub the foot, and it will pop out. If you can remove the rock, it'll make it a lot easier. But that's your best bet. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any cheating you can do to like piss it off to get it to want to release. I mean, I guess you could put like a clear plastic bottle over it and not give it any flow, so it's going to want to release from the rock and let go at some point. I mean, you could probably piss it off that way. But let me see if you sent that email through there again, buddy. There we go. Here's an image. What? I don't. Okay, so that. Okay, let me pull this up just so we're on the same page here. So this right here is this what we're talking about? This thing right here? Because I don't see, other than that, I don't see any sponge anywhere. I mean, that looks like a coral. That's coral. That's coral. Oh, this right here. Oh, geez. Oh, no, that looks like then that's hair algae or something, right? It's like that doesn't look like coral to me. Okay, so this right here. Oh, I've seen that before. Oh, okay. That's just yeah, that's just regular sponge, man. I don't know the particular scientific name of it, but I would not worry about that. I mean, you can remove it if you want. I have some of that uh in the 30 gallon back in the day, like back in the day, like 2 years ago. It was no issue, man. I mean, any sponge is a good sign that your system is doing pretty well. I mean, I don't know what the hell this is. Maybe it's a coral. I don't know. Maybe it's a chunk of green hair algae. I don't know what that is. Maybe you can let me know. That that's the algae. Okay. I mean, that's what I thought was what you were talking about. But yeah, this stuff here, I wouldn't worry about that, man. I mean, you can remove it if you want, but they're not hurting the system in any way. If you don't like the way they look, then you can remove them. But let me pull this video back up. Other than that, man, I wouldn't worry about it. All right, let's see what we got here. Let me see how many likes we're at. 65. Let me refresh this. Let me turn the volume down so I don't hear myself. 65. Oh, we're getting close. I'm gonna give you the code anyways. All right, let's see where we're at question wise. We got 10 minutes left, 9 minutes left. Okay, you got it. Can you start sort for availability in your site? Um, well, everything's available. I mean, unless it says out of stock. I mean, everything's available. Like, I mean, 3D printing. It's always gonna be available unless I run out of filament, which hasn't happened in a while. Um, Corals are really the only thing that he might be out of stock, but you'll see that immediately. And I don't have a ton of coral on the website anymore. Believe it or not, you guys cleaned house on me. I mean, there's so much coral that I don't have anymore. I'm not mad about it though. Do you need skimmer tops? Yeah, I mean, if you go on the website and you see what skimmers are currently there for the CO2 attachments, if you don't see your skimmer, then order the custom one and send that stuff in. Yeah, I could definitely use that. The more the merrier. When can you do a video on your carbon air filter 3D printing? That was the goal this week. I will attempt to do it next week. Okay, I promise. I actually don't want to make promises I can't keep. I will attempt. I will do the best of my ability to try to make that video next week. What pH are you melting your media at? I don't know. Let me look. Let me pull up my. Let me pull up my custom reactor. My media right now is currently being melted between 6.55 and 6.50. So that's what I'm at right now. I'm actually going to drop it down a little bit later because my alk is going down again. So I got to get that back up. Yeah, I said happy birthday. I don't get no thank you. Whatever. I tap the hell out of rock with it upside down. Same with for the snails. Just tap it on the shell. Okay. Nitrates were as high as 2. Nitrites. What are your nitrates at? What are your nitrates and phosphates at? I'm assuming this is a cycling question. Yeah, so check what you want to focus on when you're doing the cycling process. Yeah, you're gonna go ammonia to nitrites, and then nitrites is going to be broken down to the last stage of nitrates. What you want to focus on the cycling process is what your nitrates are at. Nitrites really in the beginning, yeah, they matter because you want to make sure you're starting the process and it's going through. But ultimately, you want to focus on your nitrates and your phosphates. I almost fucked that up. So yeah, what's your nitrates at? If you have nitrates and phosphates, your tank is cycled. That's good. That's all the algae. Rub an ice cube on the foot of them, and they'll release quickly. There you go. There you go. Salty reef. There you go. Ice cube. Never even thought about that. It's a good idea. I usually just yell at them until they give up and walk away. I started dosing Calcwater in my top off water and noticed some of the live rock has white bare spots. What do you think it is? White bare spots. Okay. Okay, so if you're I'm trying to think how I want to say this. Is your pump in your ATO elevated at least an inch off the bottom of the reservoir? If not, it needs to be because you're going to end up pulling in Kalkwasser paste through your pump. And not only is it bad for your pump, but it's also going to go into the tank that way. So make sure your pump is at least an inch, if not 2 or 3 inches off the bottom of the reservoir. And, you can make sure that if you're using a DIY reservoir, you can do some egg crate and make a little stand for it. That might be something worth making down the road. A little pump stands for y'all dosing calc. We'll see. Ice cube on the foot. Here we go. How can I raise my pH without raising my elk? Is it possible? My elk is 9.04 according to my Trident, and my pH fluctuates between 7.68 and 8.1. Calcium to do 410, magnesium 1320. So you can go ahead and get your magnesium up a little bit, 1350 to 1450. So get it up to like 1400. But what are you using, Max, to supplement calcium alkalinity? Are you using a calcium reactor? I didn't see it here. Are you using 2-part? Let me know. Let me know right now, and then I'm gonna answer the rest of this question. I will try the finger method though. Fuck. Yeah, Max. So let me know what you're using. So if you're using a calcium reactor, then my recommendation would be to take the effluent line, put it into the input of your skimmer. I got a little bit of a bump in my pH with that. If you're not using a refugium, make sure you're using a refugium. Make sure it's lighted during the night. Also, you can use one of my CO2 scrubber attachments. If you have a CO2 remover or CO2 scrubber, you can add that to your skimmer and pump it up that way. It definitely helps. A mix of 2-part and calc. So, all right, so the calc is going to automatically raise the pH, and then the 2-part, I mean, it's fine. It does the same thing. It's not none of those two methods or either of those two methods are going to bring it down. So, well, you need to remove the CO2 from the tank somehow. So again, either you're going to do it through algae source by macroalgae, growing that stuff at night, or a CO2 scrubber, or you can plumb your skimmer outside and pull in fresh air from outside. That will also help. So any one of those three will help raise. Yes, I have a refugium, Chato, and Ogo. Okay. So the other two methods would be plumbing your skimmer outside or using a CO2 scrubber. And yeah, I don't know what the other one is. I have brain fart here. So it's not having enough coffee. I'm losing concentration here. And if the stream went downhill at any point, just blame it on me not having any caffeine. So we're at 69 likes. Not a bad number, but we need more. Let's see. I feel like one of those YouTubers that begs for likes. I don't want to do that. It's weird. I don't know what type you think the tangs would eat, but they don't touch it. Huh. The tangs don't touch that algae? How about this? Stop feeding them. They will. I mean, listen, if you want your tanks you want to encourage them to eat algae in your tank, don't feed them. But understand that there's a fine line between not feeding them and bottoming your nutrients out because you're not feeding your fish anymore. So if you have some excess nutrients and you have some excess algae, your fish are not going to starve. They're definitely not going to starve. People think it's cruel, but it's really not that cruel. If you got food in there, they're not going to starve. But it's kind of like when I was a kid and I was at the kitchen table and my mom said that you're either going to eat it or you're going to starve. Well, guess what? I still ate it because I didn't want to starve. So I ate it and life went on. Look at me now. I'm grown up and I have no hair. But yeah, so as long as your nutrients don't bottom out, you don't have to feed them for a couple of days. They'll probably start picking at that. And it's pretty big size. It seems pretty decent size. So just go ahead and manually remove it if you can. But yeah, we're getting close to the end of the stream. Let's see what we got here. There we go. Okay, let me see what we got. Not my photo. I have a bubble tip that is getting okay. I will try the finger method. Thanks. Okay, so I think we're done, guys. I think we're good. Tried to remove some CO2, open the door, ran a line outside, and it doesn't work for me. Then the next thing you got there, Max, is going to be the CO2 scrubber with one of my patented. Is that a word? Yeah. CO2 attachments. So there you go, man. That's it, guys. So give me 5 minutes to get that code done, and it will work. Yeah, if you want to bring your magnesium up, that will definitely help the balance in the tank. So yeah, give that a shot. But yeah, so I'll get that code ready. I appreciate your support. Thanks for all the likes. Even though we didn't make 100, we got 72, which is pretty awesome. A lot more than usual. So I appreciate you guys giving the thumbs up. Give me 5 minutes to get that code done. It's going to be live 68. And it's going to be 50% off for 24 hours. And it's not good for lights. It's not good for ceramic frag racks or plugs or whatever. And I think that's it. Everything else is good for. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you being here. I will have some more videos out. I'll try to get the requests that you guys have, and I will see you next week. All right.